Hey everybody, this is a late live stream because I was down helping my mom with some matters because physically she's getting along. Okay, so and I had to make a late night trip to Walmart for her and everything else. It's been a hard week, and I'm going to say something very candidly to the one person that's watching other than me, but it'll be recorded. Uh, Anybody in the future that has something to say about me with respect to my mother, you're gonna be banned, okay? And I'm gonna say this straight out. Don't see me in person and come up to me and say something like that unless it's expression of concern. Because there's a fellow on here that I blocked, okay, and who, and I don't know if this is this person's real name or not, but and look, no, it doesn't matter that this is not my room, okay? But this whole you're living in your mother's attic and all this stuff because I'm here taking care of my mother as opposed to how's your mother doing. I don't like that. I don't appreciate it. It's inconsiderate, it's immature, and it's disgusting. Okay, it's absolutely disgusting. And there's some people who claim to be Raider fans, um, like that particular bozo whose name I'm about to reveal. And I said it just like that because I'm tired of these psychotics. All right, um, who they must really have unhappy lives because they go and they try to figure out, and that's why I have my words adjusted a certain way so that they can't come here and do this. They try to figure out what can I say to get on him or make him feel bad. All right, that's a bad thing to do. All right, it really is a bad thing to do. And uh, the 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 best gift I can give that person is to not be on my channel in any way, shape, or form. They're simply not allowed. I'm not going to put up with it. And you don't come here to write things that you would never say to a person in person. And if you did, you'd be psychotic anyway. All right, just a complete psycho to do something like that. You just, plainly would. So I'm not putting up with it. And I made new changes to, further steps to stop it. Um, and no one has to know my personal life and, you know, or what I own or what I don't own. Okay, this house is mine. This whole thing, okay? But my whole point is it's not anybody's business. Hey, Sean, how you doing? But this guy that did this is just not good, and I don't mind saying that um, I had to basically take him off the channel, and I did so with all deliberate speed once I figured out who he was, and he is gone. What's his name? I'm trying to find it. I'll just read the list of people like Manu, Anthony Gonzalez Jr., Danny Dunk. These are all people that have been banned from the site. Okay. Um, Brad Peterson, Sugar Bun, Senior Job, Matt Biden, M&A Piggy, um, uh, people, someone called themselves Black Child, Nino Brown, Rodney Randall, Preacher Gospel. These are all people who are banned from my site. Ryan Johnson's banned, Brandon Williams is banned, Joseph Jackson banned. Just somebody Francisco Roman, the Raider Daily's banned. Nav 21 is banned. McLovin is banned. I have a lot of people. Ashley Arrington is gone. Uh, DMV Raiders gone. Just for nothing. I say for nothing. I banned them for a reason, but they didn't have to be that person, right? But they insisted on it. They insisted on it, and so no, it's not. This is not the way things are supposed to be online. Okay, you're not supposed to do that, and so I decided, pure and simple, to put a stop to it, and that's what I'm doing. Was it Rodney? Whatever this Rodney guy's name is, Rodney or whatever his name is, he's gone. Okay, completely gone. So I'm just saying, I don't mind having a very small group of people who are adult. And the reason why I'm spending an inordinate amount of time talking about this before I get to the subject matter at hand, which I really want to talk about, but you should be upset that I have to say this, but I do. Okay, look, the vast majority of comments I get on YouTube are immature. And maybe part of it is that somebody is young or they're teen. Like someone says, well, I'm 11 years old. You shouldn't even be on YouTube if you're 11 or 15 or 14. Hey, how you doing, Juan Ramirez? But the vast majority, I would say about 80% of the comments that I get, 70% of the comments that I get are of the personal variety, you know? Like they're actually hunting around looking to say something mean to somebody or someone. If it's not me, if it's somebody else, that's not allowed. If you can't figure out something smart to say, see, if you make intelligent conversation, the very design of your words in that is such that it will not be blocked. Hey, Orlando, how you doing? It will not be blocked. But if you come here to use bad language, vent, say something terrible to somebody else, the words you have to use, in English to make that happen, guess what? It will automatically get you a block, okay? So there you go. Now with that, and thank you, Mike Lowry, for setting me back to earth. I will get to your comments and we will talk. And I will say this, first of all, about thoughts on the debate. I'll get to that in a second. I have a lot of thoughts about that. Thank you for asking. And thank you all for joining me at this late hour. Now, Mike Lowry, you the man. You started off on. I'm going to go out of order and read you first because you're the man. You're my friend. Mike Lowry came to Lee Steinberg party with me here in Atlanta. We had a great time, didn't we, Mike? Mike says the Peterman is trash. Tell you about Nate Peterman. He says Gruden is setting up his next scapegoat excuse for that garbage playbook. Garbage plays he calls. Our own line is ranked 26th. Carr needs a top 5 line to play his best. Okay, here's my thoughts on that. First of all, if John Gruden, and I'll just say this straight out, John Gruden has no intention of actually starting Nathan Peterman at all. It's a ruse because I remember, in fact, Donald Richardson said it. If you listen to our live stream Monday, and I asked him how Carr was doing. He said it right there on air. Carr did not perform well. He got sacked, got hit. Peterman got hit. Carr missed a number of open receivers. It was basically the classic case of the defense being way ahead of the offense, but maybe too far ahead of the offense in this case, okay? And my concern, thank you, Ron, appreciate it. My concern with the Raiders offense at this juncture is where's the no huddle, right? Where's the modern package that shows an attention to speed? I'm telling you, who is going to have the most exciting offense in the NFL this year? It's Cliff Kingsbury and the Arizona Cardinals. Have you seen the drills that Kyler Murray is doing? Wow. Now, the one Achilles heel the Cardinals have is called preseason. Why? Because the question is going to be, hey, look, are you going to, we know you only have a handful of plays, okay? Are you going to basically blow your wad in preseason and show everybody what you're going to do? Because that's the problem with the air raid as they practice it in college. There's no preseason in college, all right? There's just a spring game. So when you play your first game in college, that's the first game. And by contrast, in the NFL, your first game is not the season. It's preseason. And if you come out there and you play your regular approach preseason, guess what? By game 4, boom, they got a book on you. That's what the Cardinals have to watch out for. Now, the Raiders with their more expansive repertoire of plays don't have that problem. But the Raiders have a problem of speed. And it's not just a matter of, you can't just solve your problem saying, I'm going to get faster wide receivers. If you simply don't get the ball out of the hands of the quarterback faster, you have a problem. The good news for the Raiders is they're doing that. But I'm telling you, John Gruden is trying to send a message to Derek Carr. The trouble is, he's doing it with Nathan Peterman. I mean, it was so nutty that on the way back from Walmart, I'm listening to 92.9 The Game, my favorite radio station out here, and the late night guy, Mott, is talking about it. He's talking about the news. He says the internet blew up. Meaning, at some point in today that I missed it probably, Nathan Peterman's name was a worldwide trend, or at least a trend. And worldwide, we have to be a worldwide trend to matter, right? And because he said that, all right? Now, Michael says, who out there as a backup we can pick up? And Uh, Ribbon Flores says, do you think Carr is not having as good a camp as he's expected to, so that's Gruden's way of sending a message? Yeah, I do. Absolutely. And that's based on what I was told by Donald Richardson, who was our eyes and ears Monday when he was at Raider camp, and he came on to do a show. But here's the thing, folks. Classically, offense is always behind defense in training camp. It's not until like the second week that the offense really catches up to the defense, because you have, you've got new players. The Raiders have a lot of new offensive players. So you want to understand what the real problem is, it's that, including Peterson himself. I mean, think about it. The Raiders have basically an entirely new receiving corps. All right? You've got, look, last year we had Amari Cooper, okay? We had Jared Cook. This year we've got a whole bevy of receivers that were not on the team before. They did not play, okay? And so John has Antonio Brown, which is exciting until Antonio gets this non-football injury. Ostensibly, I don't know if it was caused, whatever happened to him, it happened to him after that daggone balloon landed, okay? And whatever happened to him was a non-football related injury. In the press conference, you could tell that John was not happy about it, and that it occurred. And the expression on John's face, on Coach Gruden's face, was like, I'm snake bitten. There's nothing I can do. And so when you send out that kind of message, my response is, you know what? Oh, crap. We're in trouble. That's how it looks. There was nothing optimistic about that press conference, as far as from what I saw. I mean, I didn't watch the whole thing, but that snippet, and I should watch the whole thing. But, it's hard to, when you see an expression like that, when you see Gruden refer to Brown as if he's talking about Martavius Bryant, remember that? Remember those comments about Martavius needs to pick up the playbook, Martavius needs to, that was basically the kind of language I heard from John today. And that made me shudder, So here, we're already showing signs of starting off on the wrong foot because of a non-football related injury, whatever happened, because of a performance that John, by his words, might consider to be lackluster in pads. But my thought is, hey, you know what? If you haven't put in the whole playbook for plays, if the guy's still learning the playbook, and John has this big issue about that, all right, then he's going to have a problem. If John is asking Antonio to learn all these different positions and memorize them, he's not going to get the best out of Antonio Brown, and that's going to be John Gruden's fault. Okay? And then John's going to go into this really bad thing that he does where he assumes that you're intelligent because you can pick up abstractly all these places you have to be. Look, you're not hiring the guy to be a brain surgeon. You're hiring the guy to be a wide receiver, okay? And that's what John has to be smart enough to understand. I mean, if you want a brain surgeon to do all that, you know what you do? You create a special position for that kind of player, right? If you know you have a player who can remember what the Z does versus what the flanker does versus the split end versus the wing. If you're having a 3 wide receiver offense, you call the 3rd wide receiver the wing, right? Everybody has their different designations. Or maybe it's the New Orleans Saints have a particular name, the W, okay? So my point is, if you have a guy who can remember that, then you put that guy in those positions and you let him do his magic in that way. But if you have somebody who maybe doesn't remember all the positions, fine, give them a special designation. You know what you call it? Call them S1. And then design a whole package of plays for S1, like 25. Because with 25 plays, I'm telling you folks, an NFL team is not going to zero in on 25 different plays around a myriad number of different formations. Basically, the average play can be ran out of 14 different formations in the NFL if you're using the West Coast offense, okay? That's something I figured out a long time ago. So you figure 14 formations times 25 plays, there's your combinations, base right there. Base. Note, I didn't talk about no motions or anything else, right? That's base. All right. So look, if John can't figure that out, John needs to get fired. Straight up. It's John's job, the coach. It's Coach Gruden's job to set the table to get the best talent out of each and every player, not whine about the player all the time. And that's the one thing I'm personally getting tired of. I'm tired of John always getting up there and whining about somebody. Just give us, a little bit of stuff. Concentrate on scheme, concentrate on fine points of coaching, and leave it at that. I mean, this stuff's getting played to me. John's got to stop that. Muhammad says talented players, lackluster schemes, story Raider teams in the past decade. Yeah, yeah. Who? And I'll add Muhammad, who go on to other places like Khalil Mack or Amari Cooper, and they excel, and they go to the playoffs. Right? It's disgusting. It's disgusting. The Raiders had a good system that under Musgrave in 2016. And what I don't understand about a lot of NFL teams, not just the Raiders, is if you have a great offensive scheme, bottle that stuff, man. Bottle that thing and hold it for posterity. This is not to impose, but if you could say which sport is strategically superior, soccer or football, who cares? I'm sorry, that doesn't resonate to me. Strategically superior. What does that mean? Okay? I mean, that would be, this is how I feel about that question. Why do I care? I mean, I'm here to talk about football, not soccer. Am I an expert at soccer? No. So therefore, why would I know enough? Why would I even think that way? That's ridiculous. Each sport has its complications and everything. The more you know about a sport, the more complicated it can be to you. So, but the whole point is, the reason why I get upset about that question, it's kind of like, well, oh, soccer players are better and smarter than football. That's really what you're trying to get at. And it may be some sort of racist thing, all right? Knock it off. I'm sorry, I have zero tolerance for this anti-intellectual stuff. You come here to think. You don't want to think? There's millions of other channels you can go to. Bye-bye, but not here. I don't care if I have a handful of people, which is what I have, just as long as the conversation is intelligent. That's all I ask, for Christ's sakes. I just want a thinking man's or person's zone. Ladies, welcome to. I want a thinking person's zone. I don't want all this other stuff. All right. Juan Ramirez says the game has passed John. His ego, along with his lack of self-accountability, well said, has caused the death of my beloved Oakland Raiders. I will not follow them. Yeah, Juan, I think, is right. I mean, I want to read this again. I think Juan is right on. The game has passed John. His ego, along with lack of self-accountability, has caused the death of my beloved Oakland Raiders. I will not follow them. Now, I hope that John doesn't have to get to a point where he says, that was my mistake and that was my fault. Because if he doesn't have to say that, it means the Raiders are doing well. But that press conference, I saw that performance that, you're saying, Zenny, show us. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I was just quite disturbed by it, folks. One moment, I'll get it to you, or get it, excuse me, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. It's here on Twitter in Antonio Brown, and it was what I'm looking for. Hey, by the way, Juan's a true Raider fan. He just has opinions. But here's the thing: we all have opinions, and we all have opinions that are worth noting and listening to. Now, highlights from camp. This is here's the highlights from camp from the Raiders. Yeah. So, anyways, as I was saying, after 3 seconds or thereabouts, I don't want to deal with that kind of stuff. Okay. I think what I'll do, I'm trying to find this Antonio Brown. me see top. It was a press conference interview that I want to that I'm looking for. Training camp notebook. Uh, let's see here. Gruden. And if I can find it, because I happen to run over it, okay. Um, I'll play it for you. Antonio Brown. How about Gruden? And let's see here. Oh, I found it. I found it.
John, you got.
I found it.
First time.
Okay. Right here. Okay. Here it is, folks. Right here. This is what I'm talking about. Okay, here comes Coach. Watch his face.
John, you got a chance to see Antonio Brown out here in pass for the first time. How do you look to it?
Like he did in shorts. He's getting close, and hopefully after the day off tomorrow he'll get closer. But we need him on the grass. We need him to get going, and he's chomping at the bit. He's not a real patient guy, and hopefully it'll be sooner than later.
His last came out here today. Was it always the plan to have him do what he did and leave?
Yep. Yes.
What's his injury?
I'm not going to get into all of it really. He's day to day, and it's nothing serious, but it's something that's going to take a couple days, and we'll keep you posted.
Do you anticipate him playing in any of the preseason games?
I haven't made any decisions on him or anybody else on the preseason. We have the Rams coming in here for 2 days. We'll start to focus on that, and we'll take it from there.
You know what I would do? I would do, if I were John, I would do with Antonio, what Julio, what the Falcons are doing with Julio Jones. Julio is not playing the preseason, okay? He's being held out. And basically, Julio has said that his role is to mentor the young ones, the youngsters, okay? That's what he's doing. Hold on 1 second, folks. Okay, just to reset there. At any rate, Julio is not at all playing for the Falcons during the preseason. He's holding out, and I think that's smart. Mike Lowry says, "Oh, before I read Mike Lowry's, I'll get to the others." Juan Ramirez says, "See no self-accountability." Juan Ramirez says, "Jose, I've seen enough." Jose says, "Juan's not a true Raider fan." No, he's just disgusted. He has a right. Muhammad says, "In today's scrimmage, Trent Brown smashed PJ Hall." Today's scrimmage? Oh, you mean on Tuesday? He says, "It made me realize we did an awful job at scouting. Maybe I'm overthinking to believe that, but statistically, our draft classes have been awful lately." You know, I have to see these plays myself. I appreciate your description. I appreciate, of course, Zenny62 media vlogger Donald Richardson's great description the other day, where he said that Trent Brown smashed Maurice Hurst as well. But I think this may be more a story of Trent Brown than what you say. Trent Brown is not considered the best lineman in the NFL for nothing, and that's what the Raiders paid for, and it sounds like that's what the Raiders have got. Particularly on drive blocks, right? So Juan Ramirez says, "I don't think you're overthinking it. I think it deserves thought, Muhammad. I just have to review the plays myself, and after preseason, when preseason gets started and the NFL tapes start to come through, be able to see what's going on, right? On the end zone camera view." Juan Ramirez says, $100 million for his coaching ability and yet no self-accountability or leadership. Overpaid. Mike Lowry says, look, John's a friend of mine, all right? I reserve the right to criticize my friend. I mean, we're not like buddy where he calls me, but he has asked for my plays. He should call me, though. If I'm going to be on here talking about him and we know each other, he should call me. Say, Zenny, what do you think? Well, here's an idea, because I always have ideas. I always try to help my friends improve. All right. Now, uh, Mike Lowry says, Joe Top, you cut it out. You even go to games. I'm with Juan Ramirez. We are Oakland Raider fans. 90% of you guys talking about who real fans don't go to games, don't really support the team. Hey, you know what? I have to take some blame for that because I made a video talking about, hey, real fans or Raider fans, if you've never been, don't talk about it. Okay, so, but the whole point is let's not degenerate into that, all right? Let's not do that. Let's just focus on one question. First of all, how can the team, what do you want to see the team do, and how can the team get better? And my other question is the screen on your end a little blurry? Because it is for me. Just curious, all right? It might be, I may have to go to the Wi-Fi setting there. But at any rate, just curious if it's, give me some news on that. Now, I will say this. If John were asking me for advice, what I would do is this. I would concentrate on, I'm buffering a little bit. Okay. Let me try something here. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Give me a second. Okay, is that better? Yeah, that's better. That's better, yes? Better? Better? Cleaner? Better? Yes, looks better to me. It looks good for me. Is it good for you? All right, woohoo! We're in business. Yeah. What I did was I switched from yeah. What I did was I switched from when I upload. Yeah, patience is a virtue. Thank you. Hey, Donis, how you doing? When I upload standard video, I sometimes go off Wi-Fi and I let the phone do it. I had my Wi-Fi off. Now the Wi-Fi is on. It's connected. So here we go. All right. Patience is a virtue. Oh, Ryan says, can't believe the zombie walk person accused you of pasting. Yeah, I mean, Ryan, that's, jeez Louise. Okay, yeah, man, that was so bad. Her name is Jennifer Minkwert, whatever. But she is, folks, this is a backstory. I just want to tell this because it's worth telling. As you know, I cover Comic-Con every year. I missed last year because mom was sick. And frankly speaking, didn't have the sponsor money that I had this year. So between that and the other, I said, you know what? Not going. First time I missed Comic-Con since I started covering it in 2010. Anyway, because I covered WonderCon the first 2 years before that, in 2008 and 9 in San Francisco. And anyway, I was invited to cover Comic-Con in San Diego by Dave Glanzer, who is the marketing and PR head of Comic-Con International. Great guy. Anyway, but I digress. I didn't have the zombie walk on my schedule. It wasn't something I was going to run to. I happened to be coming out from having interviewed Dave Glanzer. I walked over to the gas lamp, really to get something to eat. A huge crowd had already amassed. They were all looking for the zombie walk. It never happened at that time. It was like 5-ish, okay? But the people were all trying to figure out what was going on. The San Diego police told us if it happens at all, it will not be in this area. And this is on my video. You get this whole area that's marked off, right? It will not be in that center section. It will be over there on the other side. But they didn't know what time. So the way the San Diego police were talking to us was such that, people were dispersing. The San Diego police were not encouraging people to stick around. They actually acted like they were kind of annoyed that everybody had amassed there and they didn't quite know what to do. They didn't know what was going on. So whose fault is that if everyone's was waiting for the zombie walk and no one knows what's going on? It's the organizer's fault, the zombie walk organizer's fault that no one knows. And yet I post that video and Jennifer chimes in and gets mad at me for not knowing about the zombie walk and knowing when it was supposed to start. And I'm saying, hey, wait a minute. You got 1,000 people who didn't know there. The video expresses they don't know what's going on. And then later, I should have kept my phone going, but I was running out of battery, so I had to turn it off. And here comes the the San Diego police people saying, "Hey, you know what? We don't really know, but if it happens, it's over there. But we want to, but this area, it's not going to be over here." But they didn't know. And when you have cosplay people all over the place, look, the zombie walk could be anywhere. And so if you happen to Google zombie walk San Diego Comic Con, you'll find in Google News my reference about her, and then sandwich and another one by me, but sandwiched between them another reference to a zombie walk, but it was not the zombie walk. It was something that was connected to the television show The Walking Dead, right? That wasn't her zombie walk. So there's still nothing, no indication that went on. You'd think that she could have contacted me in a very professional way and said, "Oh, you know, we saw that you missed our zombie walk. We're really sorry. Here is the press release from the event, and here are our photographs," right? But no. Instead, she hauls off and is rude to me from jump. Something, does she have a race issue? Does she see that there's a black guy being critical of her event and she just went apoplectic, like, ah, ah. There's some people who are like that. So I figured, you know what? You get blasted, all right? You get blasted, okay? Yeah, she accused me of putting up a fake video. You know what, Brian? She didn't even look at it. If you read the comment indicates fully she didn't even bother to click on the link and watch the video. If she had watched the video, she would have heard me, talking. Anyway, you get thanks. Yeah, I mean, she's like, it was actually crazy, absolutely crazy. Muhammad says, sad to see Warren cut. Talking about Chris Warren, a talented running back, a casualty of drafting Jacobs, but excited for Burfict. Have helped D learn the scheme. Would not be surprised if he joins Gunther's staff as a coach. That would be something, a player coach, right? And I'm glad you said that, because I think the problems as they're unfolding with the Raiders may very well point to a better defensive unit in terms of communication than the offense. And this danger about having too many new players. Think about the number of players that have rolled through Raider camp under Gruden already. There's just too much change, okay? I mean, you have basically an entirely, for all practical purposes, turned over offense. You've got an all-pro line that has been, for all practical purposes, completely revamped. Donald Penn is gone, Kimmich is gone, anchors gone. And I contend that the time to find Donald Penn's replacement was 3 years ago, when they could have had Cam Robinson. Remember that? Instead, they didn't get Cam Robinson. They got Gailey and Conley. And Conley wound up, was it 2 years ago? They got Conley. And Conley had that little issue, and they had to wait for him to develop. And now he's finally developing. But if they had, everyone believed who watched the draft that the Raiders either would or should have taken Cam Robinson at the 24th spot. But no, the Raiders had to go against what really would have been the right thing for them to do. Cam Robinson was arguably the best offensive tackle available, and they didn't get him. And he would have been able to hold, theoretically, keep Donald Penn at bay. And if Donald was going to hold out, it would have been a bad idea, because Cam would have been just plug and play, like he turned out to be with the Jaguars. He started his first year and did what? He became an all-pro, Cam Robinson did, his first year. And I said that was going to happen. I told Reggie McKenzie to draft him. At the NFL annual meeting, I said, this is the guy. And the reason why I said it wasn't, I just had some crystal ball. I saw a tape of him ragdolling Myles Jarrett. Okay? That was all I needed to see. You watch enough football, and you don't need to look at a lot of video on a player if you know what to look for. Sometimes you only need 15 plays. You say, okay, I'm good. Boom. That's it. Let's get him in there. That's what I saw with Cam Robinson. And same with Cortland Sutton. I'm sorry, if I were the Raiders GM, the Raiders would have been further along by now. Yeah, I said it just like that. So anyway, it is now 2:48. It's almost 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to shove off today, Wednesday, 7:30 Pacific, 10:30, a different show. My longtime friend Amber Devlin, who lives in Vancouver, has a new organization called Quit Plastic Vancouver. And she's talking about what they're doing. It's 200 strong, 229 people, to stop this flood tide of plastics pollution in Vancouver. I promise you a very eye-opening discussion, okay? I will do sports later in the day, but tomorrow, no. And then that's Wednesday. And then Thursday, at the same time, at the same 7:30 time, I'm going to do a Comic-Con recap. That's right. I'm going to do a Comic-Con. I'm really excited about this because I love talking about, obviously, I love talking about Comic-Con, right? As much as I love talking about the NFL or anything else. But I need to do this. I need to get the Comic-Con recap out of my system. Oh, I misspelled Marianne Wilkinson. I'll tell you my debate thoughts before I'm done, by the way. Marianne Williams. Oh, it is Marianne Williamson. I did spell her right. Someone said I spelled it wrong. It's Williamson. I got it right. Wrong. Okay, fine. Anyway, now, what was I going to say? What I was going to say is that mentions message. Yeah. Anyway, on Thursday at 7:30, my friend Jessica Dwyer, who is a horror writer, she writes about horror movies. She reviews horror movies. If there is a popular horror movie around, chances are she's seen it and reviewed it. She's covered Comic-Con for a while. She's going to be my guest coming on the show Thursday. So if you want to talk about Child's Play, or you want any horror movie you can think of that you want to get the skinny on that might be coming out, or wonder why maybe one movie didn't do so well or vice versa, she's coming on. Now, that's 7:30 to 10:30. All right. So after 10:30, I'll roll over into our Raider conversation at 10:30, which will be no, excuse me. She's going to be on from 10:30 Eastern to about 11, about a 30-minute program, okay? And so at 11, which will be 8, between a little after 11 o'clock, we'll move into our normal time slot. In fact, we'll do that both nights. So Amber will be on 10:30 tomorrow night, which is 7:30 on the West Coast, and we'll go for about 40 minutes. And so then at about 11:10, we'll go into the NFL talk, the Raiders NFL and the Las Vegas Stadium talk, okay? So that's how we'll do it. That's how we'll do it. That's how we will do it. This is how we do it. Anyway, the song I'm actually tired of hearing about. Tired of hearing that song. This is how we do it. I always have this like image of these dudes like, drunk, like, this is how we do it. Get out of here. All right. I'm just kidding. But you know how you react when you hear something like maybe once too often? Like maybe me, but the whole point. Just kidding. All right. Oh, before I close, my birthday is this Sunday. So August 4th. And I'm doing, for August 4, 2019, I turn 57, okay? I turn 57. So on that day, I'm going to make 57 video blogs, which will turn into 57 blog posts, 57 base tweets, 57 base social media entries, base, okay, each. One day. I have never done this before. I'm going to make 57, one vlog representing each year that I am old. And what are the topics? I don't know. A friend of mine, Laura, was saying I should talk about how I do vlogging. So I'll do that some. But there's all these other subjects. So you have ideas, send me an email or, whatever. Email preferably. Have a list. I got my own. But I'll make 57. How can I, 57 a day or about, but I have to, no, I'm not going to do Facebook because Mark Zuckerberg doesn't pay me. The reason why I do YouTube is because I get paid from YouTube. I'm a YouTube partner. Also, what goes on YouTube and becomes a blog post goes on to my blogs, which have ads on them, and in turn draws traffic, which strengthens the overall value of the platforms I own. I don't own Facebook. I use Facebook primarily to do two things. Post the content that I already have out so that it drives traffic to my blogs and my YouTube channel, right? And then keep up with my friends and family. That's it. But I do not, this is what I was explaining to Donald Richardson the other day, because he was going to originally post the training camp that he went to on Facebook. I said, hey, look, you're on Zenny62 now. Forget Facebook. Is Mark Zuckerberg paying you? I paid him. Is Mark Zuckerberg paying you? See, that's what all of you have to realize. You spend a lot of time giving value, currency, to sites you don't own. And you think that if you post something on Facebook, that Facebook is obligated to keep it there because you posted it. They're not. Okay? That's not yours. That becomes Facebook's. Facebook could change its terms of service, make up some language that basically ends up hurting you because you think, oh, I want to keep my stuff up there. No. Now, Gary Vaynerchuk, who I've known for a long time, Gary used to message me. Now Gary is so big now, Gary is so big now he can't talk to me. Fucker. Anyway, Gary, seriously, about the not talk to me part. Just don't hear from him like I used to. But Gary would say, dude, I'm getting all these messages now. Fine. Gary said that he recommends you post 100 times a day on social media. And I don't object to that. But see, my system is automatic. Each day, my system is producing 100 social media posts that have my face on it. So you know it comes from me. You figured it out, right? It is a lot of effort to do that. And I don't personally recommend you do that unless there's a monetary component attached to it. I mean, unless if you figured out some way to improve your brand and get yourself noticed, or your product, or both. If you can sit down and I recommend diagramming it out. Like, seriously, eyeball here, eyeball goes to the website here, website person clicks on the website here, it takes them to this page. Diagram out what you want to have happen. In other words, why do that? Don't just do it. And don't do it on Facebook. Facebook is not going to give you a cookie and a star for being this, busy poster. Does the word sucker come to mind? I'm just being honest with you. All right? I've been at this way too long. I've seen too many social networks come and go. Friendster, the original AOL, the message center areas, Bebo, the Birches. Bebo is kind of like a Facebook for bloggers, right? Um, Bebo amassed, I think, 105 million visitors a month. The Birches sold Bebo to AOL for, get this, $805 million. Okay? $805 million. So what was that but a collection, okay? And Zanga, I remember Zanga, Rob Ivan, I remember Zanga. What is that but a collection of all the visitors that came and gave them basically free content? Huffington Post, the original Huffington Post under Ariana Huffington, same thing. Ariana got a number of people, including moi, to post blogs, without pay. Now, in my case, I put YouTube videos up because as a YouTube partner, I knew if I placed the videos in the right area and those videos got views, I was getting paid more. I did the same thing for SF Gate. They had a City Brights program. They said, we can't pay you. I said, that's okay. Do you mind if I put this specially designed playlist link I created up here? Oh, no problem. They had no idea. I was clocking in between, I would say, $2,500 and $5,000 a month off that. Okay? So get paid. If you're going to sit down and produce that much content, get paid. Engineer a way for yourself to get paid. I don't care if it's cents on the dollar, it's something. You turn around, have, amass enough money for a good little, monthly grocery bill. Any little bit helps, right? Always have these pockets of money that you can go to at the end of the day. It's worth it. But just putting out content mindlessly without any compensation at all, I'm sorry, folks, that's stupid. That's just me. Own your properties. Have a blog. Have a website. Own your properties. All right. Good night, folks. It's 3 a.m. Thank you for sticking around, and I'll see you. Maybe I should do a social media advice. I'll do some blogs on that. ML says, can you carve a series on vlogging? You mean like as far as the 57? I'll tell you what, ML. I'll talk about vlogging as in the 57 videos that I do on Sunday. Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll see you guys. How's that? I'll see you. Cool. You got it. Okay. See ya.